Right. So asexual would mean, no contact. There's not some life there. It's negative. It's more on the false positive. It would definitely be something that's still, uh, how a human being's mind and brain works, from male energy to female energy, the yin and the yang, and however you would like to look at that, something that goes on and always has gone on, with, how God's existence does not want to function is things becoming are trying to be asexual. Even like the environment or the ecosystem or the world and stuff like that. That's kind of what God is trying to keep us from creating. All right, um, and things like that. So um, it's never anything good. You know what I mean? It's never anything good, and then that is like opening up chambers of things people don't understand. Meaning, we're like here on land, and then they're on sea with chambers, and then we would start opening up like chambers, on land, from where they're like hiding something at sea. You know what I'm saying? And then that going on with like people, well, then they're going to spot people and say that that's people being under arrest. You know what I'm saying? It's not us just like showing up and saying that's the law. Where it's putting people in a position to like sit here and spot this. Like, yep, that's people being around stuff they're not supposed to be around, and then that's their world and existence trying to be asexual and stuff like that. And then they're just going to keep sitting there under arrest in some strange chamber of like birdland that was like created. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like me as like husband watching over wives and stuff like that. I'm the wife's husband. I'm the female's husband. I carry them. I watch over them. And if they do not listen and cooperate, then we're looking at this scenario of like me and the police showing up, and then they're sitting right here in like some strange illegal chamber or something like that, trying to be asexual, ghosts and stuff like that, and it's a felony. It's a crime. We have to go hunt them. Okay, I have warrants for their arrest. I'm gonna actually have to have their necks turned away. You know what I'm saying? If that's how people think that it's okay to be living, that's often what is required by law is that we enforce that. All right. And then something that's called arrest or causes the arrest, and then there's tons and tons and tons of dirty ass tricks and a bunch of stuff already going on that we don't want to actually, um, we don't want to actually, help that. We don't want to help a bunch of dirty ass tricks to keep being carried on. You know what I mean? And end the discussion there. And then the concept of like what goes on with invasive maneuvers behind people's heads. If a bunch of people start performing invasive maneuvers behind people's heads like that, then we're already sitting here in position watching it. All right, then we're going to have to catch people and charge them for that. And then they cannot be doing a bunch of invasive maneuvers behind people's neck and head. And it just goes on like that forever with what you actually want to sit here and um, you know, call something, and we're not going to call anything. We're just going to leave it wide open to like this is new. This is supposed to be, we're going to leave it wide open to something that needs to be remain neutral, um, and then that's forever something that's going on, and then the fight, is fighting something called, blind ruling, and then getting in position of like having power, but we don't want to like have power and be blind, and ruled over existence with a blind ruling and things like that. So that's what you really need to understand is this world that uh, you are just not FBI Bones. You're just not me. You're just not me with like wives and stuff. You know what I'm saying? You just actually are not that. And then that shouldn't be going on to like my world and stuff like that. And that's its only purpose is to actually understand, this language, and that's like a forever language. That language never stops. All right, that's Latin.